welcome to the Cuyahoga County Soldiers and Sailors Monument podcast. This is our first podcast, and today I'm welcoming Shane Doyle, our senior caretaker at the monument, to talk a little bit about some Civil War history that relates to the monument here on Cleveland's Public Square. Hopefully you'll come by and see us. And Shane, welcome.
Thank you.
You've been with the monument how long?
8 years.
8 years. 8 years, and you've been doing a lot of research into our Roll of Honor. Can you tell me a little bit about what the Roll of Honor is and who it's honoring?
Well, the Roll of Honor is a list of names that was put together by Elizabeth Schofield and William Gleason, his wife, also helped. This list of names are the men and some women who enlisted in the county itself and were properly discharged. Now, the Roll of Honor is a little over 9,000. Now, this Roll of Honor was used to make the marble panels that cover the walls in the monument.
So we talk about the monument and the walls having these names on them. What kind of a monument do we have?
Oh, good grief. How can I explain it? This monument is not only a monument, it is a memorial to the men and women from this county who fought to preserve the Union. Besides the statuaries outside, you got the panels inside that have not only men from the county on the walls, but men from Ohio, some the great generals and such.
So it makes this a pretty unique monument.
Very unique, yes.
The two styles at the time when this was built, 1894, we were dedicated July 4th, 1894, making us 127 years old at the filming of this. The two prominent styles were the shaft with statuary around the base, or the memorial room, which includes the statuary that we have in the middle, showing some different scenes from the Civil War, including those generals, those prominent individuals on a national level and on a state level. And then we also have some busts and medallions that depict individuals, but then ringing around the entire room are these large marble tablets that list all of those 9,000 names.
Yes.
You have a paper copy with you today.
Yes.
Where does that come from?
Well, the Roll of Honor was printed in the 1896 Cuyahoga County Soldiers and Sailors Monument, a book written by William Gleason. That book also covers how the monument came to be, the legal battles to build it, so forth and so on. So this is the actual back, is the Roll of Honor, the back of the book, but also entails who they looked at. You know, if you were from another country, they did not care, they fought for the Union. If you were a different religion, they did not care, you fought for the Union. So this is the Roll of Honor.
So are all of the individuals that are on our walls in this Roll of Honor?
Everybody on the Roll of Honor, yes, but not everybody in the Roll of Honor is on the wall.
Why do you think that they didn't include all of the individuals from the Roll of Honor onto the wall?
Well, this is just through research. I've come to find out a lot of the 90-day men, the 90 Days men being the first call up of men, 75,000 by President Lincoln to at the beginning of the war. The 90 Days men that did not re-enlist into another unit or stay in that unit, I'm finding a lot of them are not on the wall, but they're still in a Roll of Honor.
So those initial 90 Days men, those were volunteers that answered the call of President Lincoln to enlist in the Army for 3 months just to get the initial body of the military together. Did those men see any action? What was it like if you were a 90-day man?
Well, yes, some of them did see action. First of all, you would a colonel or a ranking member sent by a corps commander, all right, would come to the city because they needed to stand up another infantry unit or artillery or cavalry, and they would come and ask for volunteers. Now, once they would get enough volunteers, they would give you a very minute physical. They would swear you in, and then you would go off to certain camps to where you could train to be a soldier, or they actually could see how well you could shoot, how well you could march, because their training camps weren't long, because the war was there, so you had to get to the battlefield and fall in line. So a lot of the men volunteering already had a set of skills. Some of them didn't, all right? And the 90 days men would, of course, if you did not find you had a set of skill, come back. Go back to your regular job. But you're still supporting the war, even though you weren't in the Union Army.
So a minute physical, they're just looking for...
Make sure you got your fingers, toes, and you can see and march, and yeah.
Had 2 teeth, so you could rip the... So the 90-day man is mustering in. Where are they coming to? After you decide you're going to enlist, where are you headed?
Well, it's according to what unit branch your list. Artillery was Camp Cleveland. All right. Infantry would be Camp Chase, so forth and so on. But then you go into battle. Then you go and join the units.
So about how many of these men do you think are seeing action?
Now the 90 days?
Yeah.
A few. I know my great-great-grandfather seen action during the first 90 days. So.
And he mustered in Cincinnati?
Mustered in Cincinnati, and then went off in Kentucky, a couple little skirmishes, and then on into the down south eventually, yeah.
So these guys would come in, they served their 90 days, and then would go back to life before the war.
Or they would re-enlist. Yes.
So in our role of honor, those men that re-enlisted are being shown with their unit that they re-enlisted with?
No, not necessarily. I have found men on the wall that re-enlisted in a different unit. They'll be on the wall with that unit. Some of them are on the wall they initially enlisted with. There's no set standard. So some here, some there.
So have you had any personal stories that you've uncovered through research that talk about one of those 90-day guys and what they would have
I'm working with the family of a John Sullivan, Healey. She did a lot of the research herself. She wanted to know why he wasn't on the wall. She had come and visit, and she's from the Tennessee area. But by her sending me research she come up with, I would go and research it also. Well, what came to light one day is I had never checked the Roll of Honor, and sure enough, he was on the Roll of Honor, but not on the wall. And she accepted that. The current commission was looking into it, but we had never checked the Roll of Honor. Why would we? Well, sure enough, he's on the Roll of Honor.
Yeah, the assumption was that those men were all on the wall already.
Exactly, so yes.
Now we're seeing this discrepancy generally with the 90-day guys. What did John Healey do after his 90 days?
Oh, after his 90 days, he came back and he joined the U.S. Commissary Commission along with his younger brother. The U.S. Commissary Commission was a unit in itself. It was civilian run by state adjutants and would go out to battlefields and commissary supply.
When we think about commissaries today, we think the film industry, and you go to the commissary for lunch, and it's where you would get food. What was the commissary's role in the Civil War?
Well, commissary's role in the Civil War is kind of what the role of the commissary is on a military post today. You go to the commissary and you get stuff you need for day-to-day life. So the commissary would actually go to the battle area for the men themselves.
So armies run on their stomach. These guys are vital to the war effort. They need these supplies. They're supplying these men at the front and in their camps.
Could be. It ain't like the commissary would roll up and you would get in line. No. The commissary would go to normally where the corps commander was, that area, it was vast. You had the whole South. You had the 11 different armies in the Union Army. So you had to try to keep everybody, fed and clothed, bullets, a weapon. All right. And what's good about the Union supply chain is we was able to advance more and keep everybody fed and clothed to where the Confederate Army could not do that as well. Matter of fact, we would actually block the Confederate Army, and ultimately the supply chain is what won the war for the Union Army. One of the aspects of it won.
So these men are in the theater, in the battle theater.
East or west? Yeah.
East or west. Was it risky? I mean, was this something that?
Yes. Oh yeah. John Sullivan Healey actually got taken prisoner, POW, in 1864, and was held for quite a while, and then let go at the end of the war, and came on back home. Yes, he was taken to POW.
So served honorably in his 90 days, then joined the war effort in a different capacity, and suffered for that in being a prisoner.
Yes.
But doesn't make our wall. So is in our roll of honor, but doesn't make the wall. So we do have to try and figure out what the reasoning was behind that and why these guys may have been left off. And the feeling is that it was for space.
I have to say it was for space because there would be no other reasoning.
All right. Well, I know that you have a way that you have a quote from the roll that
the roll of
Gleason
honor
honors these men with.
The roll of honor, as it was put together, and it was approved by the commissioners, enlisted in the county, discharged properly, but they did not hold any prejudice because he was from another country. You had Germany, Ireland, France, England, other countries that fought, even, and they didn't hold any prejudice due to religion. Protestants, Catholic, Jews, Gentiles, believers, non-believers, even some 200 or 300 Muslims fought on both sides during the Civil War. But when they're taking a look at this roll of honor, the bottom line is it was significant to know that he wore the blue, that his heart was right place, and that he fought for the Union. They knew not race, nor creed, nor politics. They were all for the Union, one country, one flag. The roll of honor will forever perpetuate the heroic memory and deeds of the Union soldiers and sailors and the gallant band of noble women who sustained them. That's the quote.
Excellent. I want to thank Shane for joining me today, and thank you for joining us. We hope you'll come and see the Cuyahoga County Soldiers and Sailors Monument on Cleveland's Public Square. We are open just about daily, so please take a look at our website, soldiersandsailors.com, for more information on when our open hours are. You can come in and see our beautiful walls listing these men on the roll of honor. Talk with Shane, who will be happy to give you a tour, and see the men and women that are honored within our Victorian jewel of a monument. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll hope to see you next time.